I became a Christian in the beginning of 1979. Gave my life to Jesus. So I was 20 then, been a Christian 30 years. Partly because we need stuff that speaks to an Australian context. A lot of the other stuff is American. I mean, there's nothing wrong with like, lots of mates who are Yanks, that's fine. But just something that speaks to Australia. Actually, how it came about was one of the guys at YouthWorks, was his wife that said, you know, I look around our churches and there's so many blokes who look middle-aged and just tired and discouraged. Someone ought to write a book that kind of would, you know, encourage them. So, Al, you should do it. And I thought, oh, okay. So anyway, over the next couple of years I worked at it and, yeah, we have our little book. Actually, I've written it, it's not War and Peace, I've written it, it's pretty simple, and I've written it in little chunks that could be read 10 minutes at a time in the smallest room of the house, if you know what I mean. So you get through it over a few weeks. And I wrote it especially actually so I could give it to my brother. My brother's a smart bloke, but he's not a reader. I wanted a book you could give to blokes who don't read much, and I think it works at that level. Turning 40 was hard for me because I thought, man, 40 already, and I've got so little done, and where's my life, and the options are going, and all that kind of thing. And I turned 50 the other day. Like those 10 years seem to have taken 10 minutes, but in those 10 years I've learned a lot of stuff. So actually turning 50 was a lot easier than turning 40. And I think at 40 I was a Christian, but I hadn't really understood the difference that should make to a bloke in midlife. Right. So I've learned a lot of hard lessons in the last 10 years. Have I grown up? Oh, you'd have to ask my wife. There's a whole kind of conspiracy of things that work together to make midlife suck. And I think blokes get to midlife and look around and think, man, my life sucks. And then they think, I might not be allowed to say that. Why am I feeling miserable or like I'm stuck in Groundhog Day? Yep. And am I the only one that feels this? And the answer is no, most blokes do. But I think most of us don't talk about it. Most blokes want to feel like they're making a difference, like they're doing something significant. Blokes want to be respected, want to feel like they're making a difference. Blokes will throw themselves into where they feel significant. So if things aren't good at home, if the marriage isn't good, if they're not respected at home, they'll throw themselves into work or a hobby or a particular club that they're in. You know, you get blokes who spend all their time at the gun club or the four-wheel drive club or you go where you feel significant. That's what they'll do. And I think a lot of blokes just kind of think, if I just get to the top in the business, in my job, in my career, then that'll give me meaning and purpose. Or, you know, for some other blokes, it's, you know, chasing women. If I just have so many, you know, it's more and more women, or it's whatever it is. Success is what drives a lot of blokes. The trouble is, you get to the top and you look around, and it's empty. It doesn't actually finally deliver. Our basic problem is this: that God's given us all these good things, like, you know, work and sex and wealth and even alcohol, all that kind of thing, all these good things. And what we do is we take these good things and we turn them into God things. That is, we live for them. So if you live for your marriage can't sustain it. Your marriage is not God. If you find your meaning and purpose there, ultimately it'll be empty. If you live for your work isn't God, and it won't deliver. Money, blokes end up, alcohol runs out. Whatever it is you put in the place of God won't ultimately deliver unless it's God himself.